Hello, Gold Derby fans. It is Emmy nominations morning 2022. I'm Marcus James Dixon. I'm here with Denton Davidson and Daniel Montgomery. And I guess the big headlines are what shows got the most nominations. Succession, 25. Ted Lasso and The White Lotus tied for second place. They both got 20. 17 nominations went to Hacks and Only Murders in the Building. And then Euphoria, 16 nominations for this little show. It just won for Zendaya last year, and now it'll probably win a ton. Where should we start? Do you guys want to start with Succession since that's number one? And Daniel, you were mentioning the cast, right? More cast members have been nominated for this than any other show in history.
Yeah, 14 acting nominations. So that's more than half of the show's overall total is just acting nominations. More than any other show in a single year. That includes, if I'm remembering correctly, the 2 lead actors, 3 supporting actors, 2 supporting actresses, 4 guest actors, and 3 guest actresses. I feel like, it's, and I don't want to take anything away from Succession by saying this, because it's not a problem with Succession per se. I feel like we need voting reform, because if shows like The West Wing and The Sopranos weren't putting up numbers like this when there was far less television on the air, we need a system where individual shows aren't gobbling up 3, 4, 5 nominations per category, as we've seen in a lot of categories this year. More shows than ever on the air, fewer shows than ever getting recognition. I feel like we need an adjustment.
The White Lotus too. The White Lotus got a ton of acting nominations, and if you look at those supporting categories, it's like all the White Lotus is sprinkled in there. Denton, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to mention the White Lotus as well. I mean, you had major upsets in those supporting acting categories. Sydney Sweeney, we didn't expect to get in, so she's in for White Lotus and Euphoria. Natasha Rothwell, she was way down in 100-to-1 odds. So I mean, some people could have got some serious points if they were betting in our prediction center with those. And then you also had Steve Zahn, Jake Lacy. I mean, White Lotus just killed it in the nominations. And, again, like Daniel said, it's a big congratulations to them, but it's also like, okay, I feel like it's just check, 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 check. And there's so much good TV.
Right.
I was thrilled to see some surprising things get in. I think like Pam and Tommy overperformed. So things like that. But for the most part, I was just a little surprised at what looked like name checking, especially in that limited category.
Yeah, it's really show checking. I think we have to mention that the way the voting system works is that you can check as many names as you want. You're not limited. If there's 7 nominees in a category, you don't have to just pick 7 contenders. You can vote for as many people as you feel are deserving in that category, and the people with the most votes get in. That's why if you like a show, you have the ability to check every single name in the category from that show if you want, which is why we end up with the shows that have the most buzz, the most attention, kind of dominating, because voters can just check everybody off. And so you get 5 White Lotus supporting actresses in, and you don't get Andie MacDowell from Maid. Like,
that's a crime.
And a lot of people thought she could win. I mean, she was number 2 on our prediction center, and she's not even nominated. And because of no discredit to those actresses, but 5 from the White Lotus.
I think Denton, you're the one that told me this in our group chat that, Maid really underperformed, including Andy getting snubbed. And I'm like, wait, she didn't get in like that? How did she not get in?
I mean, Maid got 3 nominations. It got Margaret Qualley, and it's apparently one of the best written and directed limited series, but it's not one of the best limited series.
Yeah, the best lead actress, writing and directing, but no limited series, which is fascinating.
Which is odd, especially because Inventing Anna got into limited series. It only has 2 other nominations, so it's strange that Maid had less support than Inventing Anna for a limited series.
Let's talk about our favorite nominees of the day. And while you guys think, I'll give you mine. Rhea Seehorn Finally, it happened. She got in for Better Call Saul, and she got in for a short form show called Cooper's Bar. So she went from 0 to 2 nominations in the same year. That I think that was my favorite. I was really, really hoping Mandy Moore would get in and even win for This Is Us, but This Is Us, which had a fantastic final season, 1 nomination for music and lyrics. So I'm a little bit bummed there, but I'm going to try to stay positive. Rhea Seehorn. I mean, can she win? It's possible, but I don't think her winning is the thing people wanted. I think they just wanted her in the club, and she's finally there. Who has a favorite they want to mention?
I liked the fact that Lily James and Sebastian Stan both got in. Pam and Tommy was one of my favorites of the year. And I was shocked that that was nominated for Best Limited Series over Maid and some of these other shows that we expected to get in there.
Under the Banner of Heaven, Station 11, The Staircase, all of those, and Pam and Tommy. I thought it might have a chance to do that, but I ultimately didn't predict it.
Yeah, and Seth Rogen, I mean, it did well in the acting category, so I was happy about that. And then I was happily surprised by Sarah Paulson too, who was predicted to be out of it. We should never predict her to be out of it.
I really wanted to predict her. It was so hard to take somebody out. I didn't know who to take out. So I'm sorry, Sarah. I let you down this time.
Yeah.
I won't do it again.
Yeah, it's tough. It was really hard this year. I mean, just deciding who should be in and who should be out. But next year I'll know if nothing changes, at least in the supporting actor categories, that I'll just show check all the way down the line. 100 to 1 odds. I'll probably get more points than anyone that way.
Yeah.
I got some contenders right because I predicted the show checking. Although it's hard to predict which shows will get those checks, but I did predict Alexandra Daddario. I predicted both Lacey and Steve Zahn for White Lotus. I didn't think it would do what it did, but in terms of the ones that I really liked, it's so nice seeing like an Adam Scott get his first Emmy nomination, a Melanie Linsky get a nomination, and honestly, just every single Squid Game nominee. Like we were predicting most of those nominations to happen, but you never know until it happens, especially with an entirely Korean language show. To do what it did at the Emmys is kind of remarkable. Like there are the international Emmys, so we've had an avenue for international shows to get in, but the fact that this has been recognized at a show that's usually strictly American or UK, American co-productions and stuff like that. I'm really excited for what it means for the future of television, honestly.
And I wanted to mention Barack Obama got nominated today he was a narrator of Our Great National Parks on Netflix. So
and he could get halfway to EGOT.
Okay.
Because he already has a Grammy.
Some other people that got their very first nominations, both of the great leads, Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult. And when I saw those 2 names come up, I'm like, oh my gosh, is the great going to get nominated for comedy? And then of course it didn't. Amanda Seyfried got her first one, Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, Sebastian Stan. I mean, there's a lot of movie stars that are now Emmy nominees.
So 2 of the interesting drama actresses that I saw come up, Sandra Oh back in for Killing Eve. And then a lot of people were wondering if Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon would get in for the morning show, but not a lot of people thought it would be Reese instead of Jennifer Aniston. So that was an interesting mix-up over there. Again, over a stacked crowd. We lost Mandy Moore. Who else did we lose over there? I need to pull up.
Jodie Comer got in, and a lot of people were kind of wondering if she would. And she was the first one listed because it was alphabetical. When I saw her name, I'm like, uh-oh, our predictions in this category are not going to go well.
Yeah, as soon as I saw her name come up, I was regretting. I was like, oh, Sandra Oh is going to get in too. And I didn't predict either of them. I thought there was such mixed reception to this last season of Killing Eve that the show would just kind of fall off. And it really did, because literally the only 2 nominations it got were Comer and O.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so the voters weren't that into the show this year, but they didn't hold that against the leads.
And what about this like shutout of Yellowstone? I was worried this would happen. I thought like some people might have been like overestimating what could happen with Yellowstone, that suddenly it would emerge as this Emmy contender, and it didn't get in for drama series. Kelly Riley was predicted to get in for Best Actress, or at least close. She's in seventh place. So
I didn't
that
realize
didn't
too,
happen.
it didn't get anything. It didn't even get like cinematography or costumes. That is really shocking because
The
we were
spinoff
thinking
limited series did get a couple of craft nominations, but nothing for Yellowstone apparently.
we thought it would be the new Schitt's Creek, where, after 5 seasons, it finally gets nominated. And because it did get in at the SAG Awards, it got in at the PGA. So we're not crazy for predicting this, but that is very interesting and a little bit sad that it didn't get anything.
Yeah.
It is a little bizarre, like because this late in the game, to get your first recognition in I think it's fourth season, to get in at the SAG Awards for your ensemble cast, to get in at the Producers Guild Awards for Best Drama Series, it made sense that, okay, this is its time at the Emmys. The extent to which it was not a thing at the Emmys is just kind of is such a weird disconnect given what the rest of the industry thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Yellow Jackets did get in a lot of areas. The other yellow.
Yeah, Yellow Jackets got
there was only
7.
room for one yellow titled series this year, and they picked that one.
I was going to say maybe they were confused, but Yellow Jackets had so many other nominations that I don't think that was the problem.
Denton, one of our favorite new shows was Severance. It got 14 nominations, which is huge for a freshman show. Do you want to say anything about that?
I'm so excited that did so well. And it even got a couple surprises, although, how big of a surprise should Christopher Walken really be? But it was nice to see him get in. But it also shows that that's one of those shows that they're watching, because it did get some of those show checks. It's in for writing, for Dan Erickson. And I think they could do pretty well at the Emmys. I think it's going to be hard to beat Succession in this era of sweeping everything, but at least they're one of the shows that everybody's watching.
The one thing Succession won't win is drama actress, right? It's probably going to win everything else.
I think it'll probably win, given what we saw with Schitt's Creek and what we saw last year with The Crown. I think it'll probably win everything with one in question, and I think that's supporting actress. Because Sarah Snook didn't win the SAG Award when she was the only Succession nominee in that category. They gave it to the actress from Squid Game. So I think, Jung Ho-young. So she's vulnerable there, and especially with Julia Garner being a 2-time winner and also a nominee for Inventing Anna. And she also got Inventing Anna, that limited series nomination on top of that. It's hard to bet against Julia Garner in that category. But in this era of sweeps, maybe they just look at Succession and they just check every single box.
I think I said in another Slugfest, after Sarah Snook lost the SAG Award, and that was basically handed to her. She didn't have any competition in that category, and she couldn't win that. And now she has a co-star up against her at the Emmys. I'm going to predict Julia Garner to win that. And someone, if anyone out there is convinced Sarah Snook is winning, please comment and tell me why I'm wrong and why you are right.
And Severance won't get actress either. That's one of the spots they missed. A lot of us thought Britt Lauer could get in, and she was one of their few misses. So that's interesting that in a category that we have Reese Witherspoon and Sandra Oh coming in, that's someone from Severance missed out.
And so we all think Succession's winning series. What about actor? Brian Cox, Jason Bateman, Lee Jung-jae, Bob Odenkirk, Adam Scott, Jeremy Strong. I think I'm going to go with Brian Cox, but that vote split really, really makes me wonder.
I'm going to go with Brian Cox as well. The vote split does give me pause, but it was not a problem for anyone on The Crown last year, even when it really could have been, with Olivia Colman and
Emma Corrin.
Emma Corrin, sorry. Yeah, and a lot of people thought that Emma Corrin was going to win, and I thought Emma Corrin was going to win, and instead they go with the co-star. So they obviously split votes, but it wasn't enough to cost one of them the award. So yeah, I feel like the vote splitting isn't going to hurt Succession as much as it'll hurt other shows that might be a little bit on the bubble. Or like sort of like close, but not quite, like a show that needs all the support focused on it. I think Succession probably has enough support that it can have multiple actors in a category and still win, except for maybe Sarah Snook, but I'm still not even ruling that out. Sarah Snook could still win that.
And then drama actress Zendaya won last time she was up. Is this going to be a two-peat? Robert Lee Curry, I think so. It could be Laura Linney. Could be Melanie Linsky, who won the Critics' Choice Award.
I didn't think it was going to be a repeat or a two-peat, but now I sort of think it is. I wasn't going that way until the nominations came out, and now that I'm looking at just the nominees, I just don't see Jodie and Sandra as threats. So I don't know. It could be Laura Linney. I mean, she was who I had in first place all through my predictions, but I feel like there's a tendency to re-award people.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it was going to be Zendaya again either. Before the nominations, I think I had her second or third, but I was not anticipating 16 nominations, and including much more support from the actors branch. A couple of her co-stars got in, so and the fact that Euphoria as a whole got more nominations than Ozark. Ozark has always been an Emmy favorite, and Laura Linney hasn't managed to win for it. And the fact that Yellow Jackets did really well, but not like nearly as well as Euphoria did, I think it's Zendaya's to lose.
Let's switch to comedy and actor and actress. Ted Lasso, I hate saying something overperformed, but it really did overperform. It got in people, I think it got in 4 first-time nominees. Let me check my list that didn't get in last year. Okay, Sarah Niles, Toheeb Jimoh, James Lance, and Sam Richardson. And Toheeb was not even in our prediction center. That's how big of a shock, but deserving shock, because he was one of my favorites of the year. I just didn't know, with all of the competition from within Ted Lasso, I didn't know if he could get in, and he did. Huge congrats to him. So I'm thinking maybe, I was kind of pushing Ted Lasso aside for Hacks and Barry, but after today's nominations, I may put Ted Lasso back at number 1. I don't know what to do. Is it really like a 3-horse race between those 3? Daniel?
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I was watching for, not that I had like knives out for it or anything, but because the competition was so much stiffer this year, I'm like, okay, Ted Lasso got 20 nominations last year, the most ever for a freshman comedy. How many will it lose? like how many of those nominations will get shaved off because of the return of Barry and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Atlanta and all these other shows that weren't eligible last year? And the answer was 0. It didn't lose it. It's got another 20 nominations. It didn't add any, but it did not lose any in a year when it absolutely should have, in the sense of just the broad number of comedies it was up against that we also know that the Emmys love. So you would have thought that it would have lost one here, lost one there, and it did not lose any. So yeah, I'm thinking Ted Lasso is going to win again. But yeah, Barry and Hacks, I wouldn't rule them out, but neither of them overperformed in a way that Ted Lasso did. I don't.
I would say if I were to predict one to upset Ted Lasso, I would choose Barry over Hacks, because Ted Lasso beat Hacks already. Barry is coming back, and it is a former winner, so it'll be something that, we'll see if they can come back and win for Bill Hader again. What about Bill Hader versus Jason Sudeikis? That's going to be an interesting race to see.
Bill's won twice, right? Bill Hader.
Yes.
I think I'm going to pick Bill Hader again. I think maybe I'll do the split where Ted Lasso wins series, Bill Hader wins actor. Yeah, I'll probably do that. And then of course Gene Smart wins 4 Hacks. So all 3 of the front runners will win something big.
But kudos also to Abbott Elementary for being sort of the breakthrough. I mean, along with Only Murders in the Building, of course, but Abbott Elementary really broke through as a network show.
Yeah, the only network show nominated for comedy or drama series this year, and not even just one that was grandfathered in, like Blackish or This Is Us, shows that were still getting in at the tail end of when network shows were popular. No, this is a brand new network show getting in, and not just getting in, but like kind of exceeding expectations in some places. Like it got 2 supporting actresses in, it got Tyler James Williams into supporting actor.
Yeah.
So there's, overall it got 7 nominations, which isn't a huge number compared to like other shows it's up against, like Ted Lasso and Hacks. But to get so many of those nominations in top categories is a huge vote of support. And I feel like anyone pitching a show to a broadcast network, it's getting more ambitious now all of a sudden.
Okay, so what about limited series? Without Maid, that really changes things. Like I was already picking Dopesick to win with White Lotus possibly in number 2, but White Lotus really got in.
I'm tempted to just say White Lotus is going to win at this point. I just can't believe how many nominations it got.
Right. And if the acting branch is behind you, that's the biggest branch of the Academy. So I may switch to White Lotus. I really don't know what to do. It's tough between those 2. The others are The Dropout, Inventing Anna, and Pam and Tommy.
This is not difficult for me at all. And I could be wrong, but like I'm going White Lotus all the way. It's like it aired a year ago and it got 20 nominations. It ran the board. Dopesick did not overperform in the way that White Lotus did. I think Dopesick got like 14 nominations, which is excellent, but next to 20 is looking quite a bit different. I think that probably locks in Michael Keaton for actor.
Yeah.
But I feel like White Lotus might win both supportings, take writing and or directing, take series. I think it's got this. It'll be a little weird when it comes back for season 2.
I know.
And 3 of these series are from Hulu. We have Dopesick, The Dropout, and Pam and Tommy. So it'll be interesting to see who puts their money behind.
Hulu has never won the specific category limited series. HBO has won this category 1 billion trillion times. So, maybe that will influence my prediction. We don't really talk about TV movie, but I kind of want to go through this list. This is very interesting. You have Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas, Reno 911, Ray Donovan, and Chip and Dale. These are all former TV shows that are now up for movies. And then you have The Survivor, which really stands out to me as likely the winner here, even though Ben Foster didn't get nominated.
Yeah, which I sadly kind of expected. It's funny, like if you're a movie, even if HBO had picked it up, do a qualifying release to get this thing in Oscar contention, because a theatrical movie it has a better shot at Oscars than a TV movie has at Emmys right now. Ben Foster would have had like a fighting chance, no pun intended, with the character he plays, for Best Actor Oscar nomination. And like, just because voters aren't watching TV movies at the Emmys, like he couldn't even break into that lineup. And Best TV Movie is the only nomination for every one of these shows except for Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas, which also got a choreography nomination. That's it.
Yeah, these aren't Emmy like stronghold shows that are getting nominated for Best Movie over here. So that's really bizarre. I really thought The Fallout would get in. I thought that was a really well done film about with Jenna Ortega, and she's playing this high school student who's dealing with the aftermath of a school shooting. I thought that was really timely, so I'm shocked that didn't get in. I think probably The Survivor has this in the bag, but I mean, who knows?
I wanted Fresh to get in. It was like this serial killer.
There was too much body eating in that. I knew that would be it.
Yeah, for the Emmys, you need just the right amount of body eating. You don't want to go too far on that one.
For actor and actress, we kind of mentioned Michael Keaton. Does anyone think he won't win at this point? Granted, we're still months away. And then for actress, this was a little tougher. I do think Amanda Seyfried has the benefit of the doubt, especially because The Dropout was nominated for series and Maid wasn't. That kind of hurts Margaret Qualley's chances. Denton, what do you think for actors?
I'm gonna probably go with Amanda, but I'm gonna put Lily in second, if not first. I probably would have had her in fourth before the nominations came out, but Margaret Qualley, I mean, after seeing how Maid performed, I don't think she has really any chance anymore. And Pam and Tommy did so well. And Lily James, I mean, she is that movie for the most part. It's shocking how different she looks and sounds. So she would be my pick as a potential upset at this point. I would love to see her win.
Daniel?
I'm going Lily James. Not only did Pam and Tommy exceed expectations, The Dropout kind of disappointed in the sense that Amanda Seyfried is the only acting nomination it got, I believe.
Yeah.
It couldn't get in Naveen Andrews in supporting. Meanwhile, Pam and Tommy got Sebastian Stan and Seth Rogen in there. So it has more support from the actors branch. This reminds me a lot of the year when it seemed like it was going to be Patricia Arquette Escape at Dannemora versus Amy Adams in Sharp Objects, and then it just turned out to be Michelle Williams and Fosse Verdon. And I feel like that's Lily James right now. Is kind of 10 nominations for the program. It's the most transformative performance in the category and in that series. Even though Sebastian Stan does also transform into Tommy Lee. Lily James is really just uncanny how much she channels Pamela Anderson in that. So yeah, I'm going Lily James at the moment.
The actress category, I was expecting at least one of the first ladies. Michelle Pfeiffer. There was no Michelle. There was no Gillian Anderson. There was no Viola Davis. Talk about a stacked category. Any other year, all three of them probably would have gotten in.
I think the Showtime factor, since Showtime is not as big a player as it used to be, combined with the reviews it got, kind of ended the hopes for that one.
Yeah, I just got 3 noms: costumes, hair, and makeup. We're almost out of time. Is there any specific categories or nominees you guys want to talk about here?
For movie limited supporting actor, do you think Murray Bartlett just has that in the bag?
I think Murray and I think Jennifer Coolidge. They have those.
Yeah, I would think that Murray would have some risk of vote splitting since he's not like he didn't get the kind of buzz coming off of that thing that Jennifer Coolidge did. But just the fact that The White Lotus did so dominantly well, I think that's enough for Murray Bartlett to probably overcome the vote split.
Mm-hmm. He got the SAG Award nomination too, right?
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot.
Unless they go rogue and pick another White Lotus winner. Like I could see an outside chance for like a Steve Zahn winning because he's a veteran actor. He's worked a lot in television. So like he could surprise there, but I'm going with Murray.
Seth Meyers finally gets in for Talk Series after 7 or 8 years.
But no writing nomination for him, which was weird.
Right. I think it just got directing and series.
Yeah.
We have a new entry in competition. Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls. I actually watched that for a panel we did. It's a really fun, inspirational show. I'm glad that got in. Although, I mean, is anything beating RuPaul? Probably not.
Probably not. It's the most nominated reality show again this year. It has, I think, 8 nominations. So.
Denton, any final thoughts?
No, hopefully we get some new reality competitions that can compete with RuPaul in the future. It's getting a little boring over there. Seeing that just dominate year after year.
Right.
We'll have to wait 10 years like we did with The Amazing Race.
Right. And then and whatever takes its place will win for another 10 years.
All right, well, everyone, thank you for watching. Go make your Emmy predictions right now at Gold Derby. You can also predict the Oscars, the Grammys, the box office, the billboards, and a lot of reality shows as well. Yeah, we'll see you for another Slugfest very soon once we process all of these many, many nominations. Thank you for watching.